And good morning, Minecraft. This is Mr. Kasarian, and welcome to episode 56, although this is going to be a short episode. So, yeah, first issue we're having today. So, I've been doing a lot of work on this, and we've been having some not-so-minor issues. Let's put it that way. If you notice, I'm in creative mode, and if you notice, my entire inventory is empty. Yeah, so, we've been having some issues. All right. Yeah. And the lag issue with this reactor is still there. The random exploding when it shouldn't seems to have been resolved. I'm seriously not kidding you guys when I say that I tested this thing quite extensively in a single-player environment in a creative world before I did anything. And honestly, I don't know what the lag issue is from. I couldn't tell you. The changes you're seeing me make, I've made them about 3 times already. So that's why I'm just in creative doing them again. And it looks like something's bugged out with this world. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's causing it. At this point, it looks like our reactors are functioning properly-ish. We are building up some steam now. Hopefully that's going to resolve itself fairly soon. And that turbine will turn itself back on. And I'm in creative because of this crap. Yeah. All right, so it's just not wanting to start while this isn't running because this thing is... So let's cut the steam line then. Then that's slowly building up steam. So anyways, yeah, we're having some issues. I'm just kind of tinkering with the reactor design at this point. Just trying to see if I can get it to work right. And it's not. So we're going to see what's going on. It could be me derping with building reactors, but honestly, this was working in a test environment, and I don't know why it's not working now. There's obviously something gone sideways with my install or forge or reactor craft. And I don't know what it is, to be honest with you. You can see I don't think we're actually producing enough steam here to get this turbine up and running. And I still don't know what the lag spike's from. I've been running Opus. I've been running Opus render mode checks as well, and that's been giving me very little information. Or at least very little useful information at any rate. So, yeah, and until we get all this resolved, I'm not certain what I can do with all this, because as far as I can tell, there's nothing that should be causing this, all right? I don't even know. I've literally tried everything I could think of to resolve this, and none of it has really worked to my satisfaction. Reservoirs still have a bit of a funky hitbox issue going on with them, but you can see that happening right there. So yeah, this video is kind of me saying I'm not certain what's going on, and unless I can resolve it, I'm not certain I can actually continue with this series. I'm just checking some things and making sure I'm not using any outdated mod versions before I file an official bug report. I'm going to take a look at this reactor design. I'm going to see if there's anything I can do to improve it. I'm going to try removing all this. Actually, let me do that right now. Why not? We can get ourselves some sponges. Sponge on a stick. Removes water nearby. Yeah, I'm not certain how to continue this series if I can't resolve these issues. And that worries me quite a bit, because I like this series, and I know a lot of you have liked seeing me working with Reactor Craft, and I like working with Reactor Craft. I like working with Reactor Craft quite a lot, actually. And I'm going to be irritated if it turns out that it's actually an issue with Reactor Craft. But again, I don't think it is, because I had this running in a test environment, and it was working absolutely fine. So that leads me to believe it's another issue from another mod, and I just haven't been able to find it yet. So, well, let's try pulling out the spent fuel containers then. So yeah, basically what I've been doing is I've been running around just disassembling this bit by bit and see what's causing the problem. As you can see, I just finished trying to downsize the reactor a little bit. You saw the fluttering issue I was having earlier, which was certainly a creative issue to be having. The removing these spent fuel containers does seem to be improving my frame rate a bit, so that's interesting. I thought these were just containers and not... I mean, they're tile entities, but I didn't think that this would be that extreme. Unless they're causing some sort of re-rendering bug to happen, which it could very well be. But then why did it only start happening when I powered the reactor up? See, that's the other issue I'm trying to figure out is I powered up the reactor, so why are we now having issues? And the only thing I can think of is that... There we go. Well, nope, frame rate's still bad. So we'll start on the quite clear glass then. Yeah, I'm not certain what's wrong with this build. None of this should be causing this much of an issue. Opus isn't saying anything's necessarily going horribly sideways. We're still not generating enough steam, by the way, to run that turbine. You can tell we're down to like 40 cubic meters of steam in there, so that's not enough to run that high pressure turbine at all. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going wrong with this world. I don't know if it's me derping. I don't think so. I mean, seriously, I don't think it's me. I don't know what it could otherwise be that's causing this to go so completely sideways. I mean, we can try removing these pipes of low pressure water and seeing if that helps at all. But other than that, I'm kind of at a loss, guys. You know? There doesn't really seem to be that much of an issue. Nothing else is up and up striking me as this is completely wrong and shouldn't be done this way. And I don't know why the reactor being on or off would necessarily affect that. You know, or why maybe storing stuff in our ME terminal, you know, would necessarily affect that. We have some waste going on here. Yeah, I don't understand this at all. So that's where I am right now. So let's break that. What we're going to do is we're actually going to shut down the reactor. We'll see if that improves our frame rate at all. So we're just going to switch to delete mode here. Delete that. Make sure delete mode's still on. Delete all that. If you guys have any suggestions on what could be causing this, then I would be more than happy to hear them. As far as I am aware, I am running the latest version of ReactorCraft. I am not running the latest version of Forge. I am running the latest recommended version of Forge, and that's an important distinction because there's a fluid registry change that I've run into in just about every series I've been doing. No, that's interesting. Why didn't you get pulled out? Oh, you must have generated after I disconnected things. Okay. So yeah, we're just going to remove the last bit of uranium in here. And that didn't do anything. It was the first time I powered on this reactor that I started having an issue. Okay. So... yeah, the temperature's dropping across the reactor now. 63, 62. Let's see what happens when the reactor temperature hits baseline across all cores. As you guys can tell, right now the reactor is not being powered by anything. So, yeah. We'll see what this thing does now. So my frame rate's still down. I apologize if I minimize for a second if this goes sideways. Let me come right back. All right, we're back. So the reactor's offline. Now, it didn't... my frame rate didn't come back until I de-rendered the area and then re-rendered it. Okay? So now let's take a quick look at what happens. And I'm going to bring my frame rate counter up into my top corner of my screen here. Watch that FPS counter for a second. So let's get ourselves some uranium fuel pellets, and let me hide NEI from you for a second so that you can see my frame per second counter. Watch this. We're at 30. Oh, hey, what was that? 13 frames per second, anyone? Anyone? Yeah, as soon as I drop that in, I go down to 13 frames per second. One core. All right. So let me turn off my fraps for a minute because I need to go back to Opus and see what it's telling me. Alright guys, so I've got my frames up a little bit. We're up to about 15 frames per second. Yeah. Still trying to figure out what the problem is. However, I do have the reactor working again, and it seems to have hit a stable temperature. And this thing is still picking up power little bit by little bit. It'll stabilize itself eventually, but for right now, we just have to wait for it to pick up steam. I'm not certain what this glitch is. Opus isn't telling me anything, all right? Opus is saying, yeah, it looks fine over here. Don't worry about it, buddy. And yet, I'm worried about it. So we're still in creative mode because I'm still putting stuff back together after I ripped half of it apart. Yeah. Oh, son of a gun. What just got too hot, and where did it get to? Holy mackerel. Are we stable? I think we're stable. Sorry. It's like you look over and suddenly one of your boilers is out of water. You're like, holy crap. We're in trouble. Quick. But it looks like we're stabilizing here. Maybe. Maybe. It looks like we're stabilizing, and in that, the real question is, in that configuration, are we... We are, in fact, losing steam. So let's try pulling out 2 of our control rods here. And we'll see what that does. All right. So right now, all we have inserted are these control rods here, which I'm hoping will be enough to regulate this reactor down a little bit. And still generating enough steam. I think we're positive on steam. And I'll check in another minute or two. But yeah, I'm still kind of putting this reactor plant back together. I know I should have been doing this in survival, but honestly, I'm not going to. Honestly, nope. Actually, what I do have is I have a backup that I created before I actually turned this thing on. So what I might do is I might restore this to the backup and see what that does. All right. And if also that restores my player inventory, I'll do that too. Either way, and I'll just chalk all of this up as a computer simulation. Yeah, let's do that. It was all just a huge computer simulation. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what this lag is coming from, because this is silly. Like, oh, I just got up to 20 frames. What's going on here? Huh? What? I don't understand. Seriously, I don't get it. Now we're down to 15 again. I don't understand what this reactor's doing to my frame rate. I just don't. I don't get it at all. These all look like they're doing good. We're all stable. Stable. We were at almost 300. What are we at now? A little over 300. So we're positive on steam flow. The reactor's running and it looks stable. This thing's running and stable. That's good. So yeah, but I don't get it. I really just don't get it. I think this is a stable configuration for the plant. The core looks like it's stable enough. We're not peaking above 300 on the core. None of these are peaking over 3. That's good. So I think the core is actually stable. But I still don't get why. I don't get what the flutter that we had was either. Right? Remember when these were fluttering up and down and up and down and up and down? I don't get that either. I don't understand why it wasn't working. Yeah, I don't understand this at all, really. Let's make sure all our steam lines are connected. Yeah, they are all connected. Yeah, I don't get why this thing decided to go south. I don't understand why, and why my frame rate went along with it. Alright, because down here, right? Down here looks fine. Fine down here. That's all running fine. But it's just, I don't understand. nothing in here is really doing that much. And this rotation isn't really that big a deal, right? There are no animations going on. So the only thing I can think of is that something's decided to just not work correctly, and it's causing me grief. But I can't tell you that because I'm not a programmer. Yeah, I don't get this at all. None of this should be doing it this way. Huh. Oh, by the way, one source of lag that I resolved was this stuff down here. All of the Ender IO. Okay, see, now I'm up to 26, 20, right here. This spot. This one spot. I can look around. I can do whatever. But watch, I'll cross over here. 20. I go up here and actually look down at the reactor. 15. No, I don't know why. And again, it's only when the reactor's running. When the reactor isn't running, nothing goes wrong. I do not understand it. I'm going to cross-link this video also over to Rika's thread because he'll probably be able to figure out what I'm doing wrong. I have no doubt that this is all my fault. I have no doubt I'm doing something I really... See, here, 30 frames. Look. 30 frames. 14 frames. Now that leads me to an interesting question. That leads me to a very interesting question. So you guys can see. It's something about this chunk. There's something going on with this chunk. That has to be what's happening. That's the only thing I can think of, is that there's something with this chunk. Because see, I'm at 16, 31, 18, 26, 15. But only when this reactor's running, right? When it's not running, we're fine. So what is it about this chunk that's causing an issue? Let's try chucking a chunk loader down. Maybe this chunk isn't loaded. I doubt it. No, we look like we're fine. Yeah, it's this chunk that the reactor's in. The reactor is pretty much contained in a single chunk. Yeah, okay, now that I know what I'm looking for, look at that. Huh. But all of these chunks are being loaded by the game. Right? It's just when I'm in it. Because watch. I'm up to 21, 18. Well, no, not really. Well, it's better, but it's not great. It's better. It's something about that chunk, though. Or it's something about this cluster of chunks. Now up to 23, 28. I wonder about something here. I'm actually really wondering about something now. Let's check our chunk loader upstairs. Alright, so now we're up to 30, right? We're still in this chunk and we're up to 30. So it has to be something to do with rendering, but I don't understand why. Because now, see, I'm rendering the chunk again and it's back down to nothing. Alright, I don't know, guys. I'm gonna have to hunt this down off camera. I'll post this video up to Rika's thread. We'll take a look. But until then, guys, this has been Mr. Kassarian. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully we'll get this resolved. Otherwise, stay tuned for more bug fixing videos. See ya.